We're live right now.
Hello.
Yay! I am so glad that you agreed to do this with me. Thank you so much, Donna.
I have been so excited about it. As you saw, I like posted it all over the place. So I don't know how many people will show up, but I'm hoping some do.
Well, it's okay because I put it up on YouTube.
Oh,
So
great.
I have
We
a
can share
whole
it later.
thing on there, right? We can
I'm trying
share
to
it.
get my hair to stop sticking out. This blue hair stuff. I don't know how you do it.
I
And yours
love
is
the blue
permanent. Yours
hair.
is permanent, right? Mine is temporary.
Oh
But
yeah,
I've got it sticking out. So
you're my first guest that went all out. And
oh, I did. Yeah. Now I did. I will tell you, it washes out. So
oh yeah, mine
but it is
doesn't.
blue. See, it's pretty blue.
You know what I did do this morning though? Oh, good, it doesn't show that bad. I have like touch-up spray
Yeah.
that not to do the whole thing. It's only a touch-up, but I'm a little light
Oh,
here.
see, I see the dark. Yeah. Well, what
Yeah.
do you call that? You say it in the book. What's the name of it when your hair? God, something's sticking up here. Oh well.
What touching?
Yeah, no. When you have different colors of different shades.
Oh, balayage, but that wasn't me. That was Mr. West.
Okay. All right. So balayage. See, I've got the balayage. I actually took my blue and I mixed it with other colors that would make it a little bit different shade. And so my assistant and I just had the greatest time painting my hair.
That is so awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you know, for those of you following along here, chances are it's either someone that knows Donna real well or someone that knows me real well. But either case, Donna actually played a pivotal role in the book itself.
We should probably say what the book is for the people who don't know. Let's start with that.
Let's start with that. Okay. So it said,
let me introduce you to my Avon lady, Lisa Wilbur. Lisa is a phenomenal salesperson in Avon, and she knows so many great sales tips. And she and Jeff West wrote a book together called
Said the Lady with the Blue Hair.
Said the Lady with the Blue Hair. So today on Lisa's Monday Madness show, we have the lady with the blue hair talks to the lady with the blue hair and red lipstick. But we both have red lipstick. So we're actually twins separated at birth. So we're talking about the book, and we're talking about sales techniques, and we're talking about, whatever you want to talk about.
And Donna was nice enough to be a pre-reader for us and write us an awesome endorsement. And the thing is, when you read it, you came from a different perspective, and that's what we wanted. We had 30-something endorsers that all came from a different perspective. And you're a coach, not just a phenomenal real estate person, realtor. And you sent us a suggestion that we hadn't even thought of. And we included your suggestion in the book because it made total sense.
I have to tell you, I was so honored. When people ask me for feedback, sometimes they don't really want feedback. They just want me to tell them how great they are. But I really got the impression from you and Jeff that you really wanted feedback. And so I gave it. And to my shock and surprise, you replied and said, okay, so we rewrote this section like this. What do you think of that? And I went, oh my gosh.
Well, now I want to say, to be fair, we had gotten some other feedback that didn't necessarily make sense to switch, but yours, you made sense. You told us what should have been different, or what was different from your perspective. I don't know how you put that. It totally made sense to us.
Yeah.
And we wanted to honor that. So not everyone's made sense to us. So
right.
Of
course you shouldn't change it if it doesn't make sense. And I thought maybe I'd missed something or something. And so I think I phrased it and said, maybe I missed something, but from a coach's perspective, I'm looking at it like this. And I think it might make more sense if blah, blah, blah. And you guys did a beautiful job, just a beautiful job. The book is awesome. The tips are awesome. I was going to try and pull up the notes I took on the tips. I can't remember if I sent those to you or not, but I'll look them up, because I took notes throughout the whole book, which is what I do.
That's
I take notes everywhere. I take notes in church. I take notes. I just take notes constantly.
I do that too. Matter of fact, I carry around a little notebook even when I have a crossbody bag when I'm at a convention. I got my notebook and pen because I can't stand not to do that.
I just for me, writing things down cements it in my head. And of course, then I can go back and do it. Recently, I was on a flight and they had, you know, the movies, right? It was in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. And Malcolm Gladwell, you know, he's an author also. Maybe not as popular as you will be, but he's an author also. And he was doing a master class on writing. And of course, I'm trying to write a book too. You're my hero.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to write a book too. And so I took notes, but I didn't have anything to write with, and I didn't want to wake up the person next to me. So I took them in an email. I took notes in an email on my phone, and I emailed it to myself, and I still have my notes from the Malcolm Gladwell master class on writing.
That is smart. Well, now back up here. What kind of book are you writing?
I am writing a book. I have never written a book, and I have about 100 ideas for books. So I decided it was time to write a book. And my first book I'm writing is on a time management. It's so sexy. A time management method that I got a patent for the phrase, because I teach a course on it. And I've been teaching it for many years. And so I applied for a US trademark patent. And the name of it is Do It, Move It, or Delete It.
Oh.
And so it's a time management method that I teach. I've got a course on it. And I thought this would be really easy to write a book around. And of course, then I started looking at where did I get that idea? Well, let's tell the story of when I grew up, you know? So I know it needs a ton of editing, but I've had a lot of fun. I've got my first draft done. I'm going through with my edits now. And then I have no idea what to do. I need to hire you and Jeff.
Well, I was going to say, if you're interested in making it into a parable, I know a man.
Yeah.
You do know work. You know he wrote all of that. I didn't write any of it. Yes,
that is not true.
No, it's true. I get to have co-author status because the ideas and the story and stuff, not the story itself, but the ideas and the rules and stuff were mine. And we collaborated on it, but I actually didn't write any of it. The only thing I've ever written is how-to books. I've written 3 of those myself, and I wrote chapters about myself in those anthology books, but I didn't write any of this. This is all Mr. West.
Wow.
Absolutely. I know.
I've got all kinds of, mine is full of personal stories. I think I'm about 28,000 words right now. I don't know how many.
Well,
how many does your book have?
All of how many? What?
How many words is your book?
I don't know that. He would know that. I don't know. No. Why I've been giving him a hard time this whole time is because so much of my story is in there that when I was reading it, he was sending it to me to make sure the things were accurate. And so much, I mean, it's not a biography. It's like kind of like a spiffed up version of me, you know, like Snapchat. Belle is like me, Snapchatted, you know what I mean? but every time I read a thing and I came across something that I told him in a story or was part of my life, or like Belle kicking her shoes off when she speaks, that's me. Every time I came across something like that, I was like, oh, I actually gasped, because in my limited life experience, I haven't had men listen to me like that before.
Well, Jeff is quite a good listener.
Evidently.
Yeah.
So I was always like surprised he got so much of it. And he got so much of it in there that other people, matter of fact, Avon corporate people that have known me for 25 years knew which parts were me. It's that one. That's what I said. When I was reading, I was almost embarrassed that everyone was going to hear all that stuff, not remembering that it's a story. So a lot of people won't realize a lot of it's me.
Yeah.
But it was almost like embarrassing.
Well, offline, you're going to have to tell me about that sexy neighbor.
Oh, Right. I did ask for a volume 2 of this so we can go a little farther down that road.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the rest of the story, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But that is so exciting, that you were willing to give us feedback and that he was willing to fix that so it made sense.
I'm so thrilled because you know who I'll be sending my first pre-read to.
Right, right.
If I ever get it done.
Well, you know what? You might want to take on somebody that and co-author, because I never did I see this coming.
Yeah.
I never saw this coming, and this book would not be coming out this week if it was my project alone.
Yeah.
Because I had no, on my plans for the year, there was not a plan to do a book and not a plan.
You got it done.
Right. And it's like, yeah, this is a exciting week though.
Well, watching you guys do it, I was talking to somebody else from, you and I met in a networking group.
The Go-Giver Success Alliance.
The Go-Giver Success Alliance with fabulous, wonderful people. And I was talking to one of them recently about the book, and now I can't remember where I was going. Crap.
Shell, maybe?
But it was Shell. And I said, maybe I should have a co-author. And I was like trying to see if she would work with me. And she goes, "Oh no, I don't do that anymore." I went, "Oh crap. Okay."
No, and that's a good place to look for one too.
Yeah.
I think and I don't know how this happened, or I'd tell you, because then it would be easier for you to find your co-author.
Yeah.
But our skills are not the same.
Yeah.
And we've divvied up the work, not even verbally. We've just been, and I don't ask him before I do stuff, and he doesn't ask me, yet we're not overlapping the work. I don't have any idea. I don't know how we're doing it.
I remember what I was saying to Shell. I was saying, their book launch, it seems to be very intense. I'm not sure I have time to do that. And she goes, no, they're doing this way better than anybody else. Way better.
And you know what? I didn't know. I haven't been part of a book launch before. The only thing I know is what I've done with my own self-published stuff. So I didn't know it was different than other book launches. So
it's just been amazing. It's been totally amazing, and also looks exhausting. So that was my biggest fear, was I don't know if I have time to launch a book.
Well, you're good at delegating though too, because you have an assistant. I think that's, if I had something to do different, and Janet from Ireland's on. Hi, Janet. She's my bestie over in Ireland. If I had something I should have done different that I know was a miscalculation on my part, is that over the time with my Avon business, I've had staff for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
They have gotten older, and I actually had somebody pass away on my watch, a part-time lady. And then my full-time lady's going part-time because she's almost 70.
Yeah.
So all of my ladies are getting older.
Sounds I went from having another assistant.
Right. I have one full-time, 2 part-time. I'm down to 1 part-time. And instead of getting another assistant, I took the work back.
Yeah.
And I know better than that, because right, I should be spending my time on the monetary stuff that I'm good at, instead of, I've been stuffing envelopes. Matter of fact, these, I sent out every 500 of those myself.
Wow.
Which was wrong though.
Yeah.
Right. It's but that was wrong because I know better.
The people who make the most money, when asked what would they have done differently, will say 2 things. Almost always it's these 2 things. Number 1 was, I should have hired an assistant sooner. And number 2 is, I should have hired a coach sooner.
Oh, yes,
so
absolutely.
Having a coach and an assistant makes a huge difference in your life.
I want to hear more about that, because I've actually not done the coach thing as far as what you're saying. My first experience has been lately, and it wasn't. No. It's not that it wasn't great. It was Jeff doing the audio book. because he's a music man, even but we went through and did it, and he was on oh God, I'm getting so flustered even talking about it. So he was on Zoom on my phone. I'm recording on the laptop. I've got him in my headset, and I'm recording on the thing. So he's listening to what I'm saying and having me repeat or do different things and inflections and stuff. But this was my first time doing it. And it was very hard having him coach me. It was very hard because I'm so used to running my own ship over here, and I don't get a lot of criticism.
Right.
And he wasn't criticizing me.
Yes, he was
know
just
why he was doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And I get the whole concept of it. He said, I wouldn't make you do it over if I didn't think you could do it better. And I get that. It still was the pain.
That sounds like a difficult process, the way that was set up. You know, you're actually reading and he's listening in your ear and stopping
you. It was so far away. I couldn't think of a better option. If we could have, and you know what, he had a point. If we had gone to a studio together, that probably wouldn't have been better, because then I would have had 5 other people looking at me. So at least it was just him.
I had no clue that's how you did an audiobook. Man, I would just do the audiobook and then go through it and see what needed to be changed and spliced in, you know?
Well, and originally he was going to have me read the whole thing, but then his voice, I mean, you've heard it.
He's got the voice. He does have the
voice. So I'm like, oh no, I mean, the majority of people that are probably that are my tribe are women. They're going to go nuts for that voice.
Well, so I can't wait. I love Audible.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm a big Audible fan. In fact, what I was doing while I was waiting for this to start was going and figuring out where I was going to spend my credit this month on my Audible book. Yeah.
Janet Leonard said it may have been harder for him, no doubt, because there was crying involved. That poor guy. Oh, I felt bad about that. When I get frustrated, I cry, and it's a bad habit.
Yeah.
But when I get really, really frustrated, I cry. So that's that. Yeah, poor him.
So well, it sounds like you both survived.
Yeah, I was worried whether he would there for a while. Kind of lucky he was in Texas. But anyway, so when you have, I guess, tell me more about the coaching, because I bet you can have coaching clients anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world.
I can. Right? In fact, all but one of my coaching clients is out of the state I live in, which is Georgia on the East Coast. So yes, all of my coaching clients are in different states. I believe that's true, other than just one right now.
So what type of person is going to be coming to you for service, for coaching?
Right. So my background is in real estate. I started at age 24. How old were you when you started, Avon?
18.
18. Okay. Yeah. So both of us are not as young as we used to be. We've been doing this a long time, right?
Forever. Yeah.
And
that's funny that's funny you found your thing that quickly.
Yeah. Well, I worked at a grocery store before that. I actually didn't go to college. I got a GED at 16, and
I got a GED.
Went out to save the world on my own, right? But I had maxed out at the grocery store business as a bookkeeper in the office, and realized I wasn't going to be able to make a lot of money in that, and ran into a terrible boss who after the birth of my second child, wanted to schedule me till midnight and back in at 6 in the morning. And I was trying to nurse at home. And so that didn't work. And so I got into real estate to manage my own schedule. That was really the reason I got into it, and made more money my first year than I'd ever made at my peak year in the grocery store biz, and didn't look back. But I then began managing an office. Then I ran a big team with my husband, Mike, in Hawaii, and hired a coach then. And we thought we were doing well in the business. We were doing well in the business, certainly supporting his parents and us and staff. You know, we were doing well. But after we hired a coach, it turned out we were only doing about 15% of what our maximum capabilities were.
Wow.
So I love to tell the story.
That's why you wanted to be a coach.
You want to really find out what you can do, invest in a coach. You may think you're doing okay, and you may be, and okay is fine for a lot of people, right? Okay is good. But if you want to find out what you actually can achieve, hire a coach. If you look at everyone who's done very well in anything, they've hired a coach. And so the real estate industry really did change over the years, and there's far less great training or management from your brokerage, which is why coaching was born. I love getting 100% commission or 95% of the commission, but I don't have any support, you see? Right. And when I first started the business, commissions were 50-50 with your broker, but they gave you great support.
Right.
You had a lot, you had a coach, you had a mentor, you had an assistant, it was all built in. But the business changed, and so coaching was born. So I just adore helping people to achieve the most that they can. One of my favorite clients came to me saying, my friend told me I need to call you about coaching. I don't know what I can't do any more than I'm doing right now. I'm working 7 days a week, 365 days a year, good 14 to 16 hours every single day. I can't do anymore. So I don't know why I'm hiring you. And I said, well, you're hiring me so you can make more money in less time. And she went from doing about 24 transactions a year to as high as 140 transactions a year.
Wow.
In less time.
That's awesome.
And able to take vacations and right? So that's what coaching does for you. It lets you get out of your pedal, and see a bigger picture and look for some solutions that are going to help you make more money in less time. And so, my coaching clients stay with me a long time. My average one's over 8 years, and I've got some for 15 years. And why do they stay? Because coaching is a process. It's a process of establishing what's important to you. Because if you don't know what's important to you, whatever you're doing may or may not matter, right? So we call those your life intentions. And then we help you establish something that goes side by side with that. You have your life's intentions, and then you have your standards of integrity. Ooh. So when you know your life's intentions, which is what you want to accomplish, what's important to you, and your standards of integrity, which is how you are going to be as you accomplish it, those two things together allow you to set goals that are meaningful, that are relevant, that are in alignment with your life's intentions and standards of integrity. And it's just an honor to help people to do that. What's been interesting is I'm still working with real estate people, because that was always my background. But I have recently worked with a psychologist who was setting up a practice. I worked with a university professor who's now got her goal was to decide whether to retire or not, and she's taken a sabbatical to see if that's right for her. I've helped an acupuncturist to retire from her business. Wow. And I was just referred to someone who is a nurse with MS, who would like to have a coach to help her look at what's for the rest of her life. So I'm doing all kinds of different coaching these days.
So everybody listening, don't think you have to be in real estate, because
you do not have to be in real estate. And we named our company Your Coaching Matters, not coaching for realtors or something.
Right.
Because we knew that these methods, these systems that we learned from Dr. Maria Nemeth, who wrote a book called Mastering Life's Energies and does a coaching training program. We knew that these methods work for no matter anyone. They work for anyone and everyone who is interested in becoming the best they can be or deciding what's important to them next.
No, that's awesome. And Penny's on and Mariana's on. Hello.
Does anybody have a question?
Yeah, put it in the thing if you have a question. We've obviously heard of coaching before, but I think you take it to a different level than what we're used to hearing about in direct sales, because we talk about coaching as far as helping people find their own answers in direct sales. So you're not running 100 people's businesses for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're trying to coach them to find their own answers. And I always think of my grandmother, because she would never tell me how to spell a word. I'd say, how do you spell fright? She'd say, I don't know. How do you spell fright? She'd never do it. And that's the same way I teach my team members. They say, where on the site is this? And I said, you have your laptop open? Let's look together. And I don't ever tell them where it is, even if I know.
I would say that's more training.
That's more training than coaching.
That's more training than coaching. Because what coaching is it's a systematic method in which you discover what's important to you. You discover how you're going to be. You set some goals that are in alignment with that, and you create a plan to get to those goals. And every time we have a coaching session, we're going to look, see, and tell the truth. Okay. We're going to look, turn our attention towards, but sometimes you look and you don't see, right? Seeing takes longer. Seeing is after you look a long time. So we look, we see, we tell the truth about what happened or didn't happen in physical reality that we live in, not in visionary reality where we dream, okay? But in physical reality, we strip away any thoughts, opinions, or emotions about it, just the facts, right? Because only when we look, see, and tell the truth can we take the next authentic action.
Oh.
And what a coach does is to help you do that and to set up what are the actions that you're going to take between now and the next time that we talk. Specific actions. Not, I'm going to pick up the phone more.
Right.
I'm going to pick up the phone.
Calls.
I'm going to even more so than the dials. I'm going to make 5 contacts.
Oh, good point.
You see, because I'm much more interested. If you don't have results.
Oh, right.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what your actions are, right? Yeah. So we're looking for results. We're always looking for results. And having a coach caused me to do what I said I would do more often.
Oh,
you see?
That makes sense.
Because if our mentor, Dr. Maria Nemeth, says success is, I'm going to read it on the wall because I put it on a poster. Success is doing what you said you would do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace.
Wow.
Success is doing what you said you would do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And I could do a whole call on what does that mean. But what does it start with? It starts with you saying what it is you're willing to do. If you're unwilling to say what it is you're willing to do, you're not going to do much. Or you may take lots of actions that are not helping move you toward a goal, right? So action, we say that coaching hasn't occurred unless action is taken.
I think where I've had a stumbling block, and I bet you some other people have too, is I've got a personality flaw of I don't like people to tell me what to do. To
Terrific.
The point, right? But anytime I have an accountability partner or something like that, I mess it up because I don't like that. I don't like, it feels like someone's telling me what to do. I'm so bad about that when I met the presidents of Avon US changed, I'm at a dinner with the new president. He wanted to have me say anything I wanted to say to him. And you know what I said? You are not the boss of me. That's what I decided to come out with. Yeah. But I know it's a personality flaw.
Because what it is it's something that's important to you to run your own life, right? Yes. It's important to you to run your own life. So notice in coaching, it's not what I said you would do. It's what I said I would do.
Okay,
Success is doing what you said you would do.
Yes.
Right? So I never tell anyone what their actions are. They tell me what their actions are.
Oh, see, that makes sense right there.
It's my job to just ask you, did you do what you said you would do? That's it.
No,
and there's no judgment. There's no judgment if you did or didn't. Okay. This is a fact. You either did it or you didn't.
So if they didn't do, You just try to
then
see.
the question is it still important to you?
Oh, okay.
Is
And
it
if
still
it
important
is,
to you?
then
Yes or
let's
no?
see how we can
Would
figure
you
this
like to
out.
carry would you like to carry it forward? I mean, if we're going to carry it forward 2 or 3 times, we might look at what's getting in the way.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes physical reality gets in the way.
Right.
I had someone once, they were supposed to do something. Did you do what you said you would do? No, I didn't do it. Well, what got in the way? Well, someone broke into my car and stole my laptop. Okay.
Yeah,
Physical, there's no, he's like, I just feel like such a failure because I didn't do what I said what I do. Wait a minute. Physical reality got in the way.
Yeah,
you
that's
literally didn't do it because you didn't have your laptop. So don't beat yourself up. Go get a new laptop. You see? So it's always what do they, and many times I'll have to tell you in coaching, many times I'm helping people not beat themselves up. Let's look, see, and tell the truth. What got in the way of you doing it? Was it something that there was nothing you could do about? Right? Then let's just figure out, is it still important? Where will it fit in now? Or what do we need to change about that? So it's a series of helping people to see the truth and to take the next step.
No, I love that. I love that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, you don't need to see all the way across a cave in the dark. Let's say you're in a cave in the dark. You got a flashlight. All right. You point that flashlight across the room, you may trip on a rock getting there. You see? All that's important is the next step that you take. You're going to get to the other side of the room.
I'm trying to write all this down.
So
write that down.
Yeah. So imagine you're in a dark cave and you want to get to the other side of the cave, but you've got this flashlight and you're in a big dark cave. That flashlight doesn't do any good across the room, right? But what I can see is where my feet are. If I point the flashlight down and I can see what's nearby me, I can see the next step to take. Too many times we're trying to see all the way across the room. We're trying to see 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when all we really, my goal is to get out of the cave. I'm clear about that. I may not quite know where the exit is, and I don't know what's between me and the cave exit. All I can do is to look, see, tell the truth. What's in front of me? Where's my next step? Now, where's my next step? Oh, there's a wall right here. My next step needs to be a different direction. If we consistently take small, sweet steps, we will reach our goal.
Knock me over with a feather. I'd swear to you, that is awesome. How did I not think of that? That's why they have coaches.
That's why I have coaches. Yeah, we are awesome. Usually the biggest problem most people have is not knowing what to do. They know what to do.
Right. No, I agree.
That's not the problem. The problem is they're trying to see too much. I do a thing at the beginning of each year with my clients where we get a stone. Okay, everybody gets a stone. Let me show it without words on it. Everybody gets a stone in the mail. And they get a piece of flying wish paper where we write on it and let go what we want to burn up of. And it flies up in the air. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's really fun. And then we hold the stone and we try and, what is our focus for this year? What is our focus? And my focus for this year was just to be. And you write your word on the stone. So there are people, I don't have mine here because I have it at home, a big collection of stones over the years, right? But what we're looking at is, where do I want my focus? The thing is, we have too many things we can focus on. So we got to take that, we'll use a light analogy, a flashlight analogy again, and we need a colander. It's going to block out a lot of the light and just has 3 or 4 holes in it, right? Now I can pick from that. So it's a filtering out of everything you could do into what is most important for you, because we've got to put our blinders on and take the next small sweet step.
And you know what's funny? I don't even know what happened this year that I picked I had 2 big giant projects that were out of my field because I produced a play in town. Not on the radar at all.
Amazing.
but I don't know how that happened. I was just trying to meet new people. That's all I was trying to do.
And you wrote a book and produced a play.
Right. And those two things weren't even on my radar at all.
I bet you had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. And matter of fact, I feel pretty good because after our meeting, I've got a meeting with the director. He wants to do another play. And, you know, I like it when someone comes back for another heap and helping of my crazy.
You got it.
I think I can't be that bad. They're coming back.
That's awesome.
I'm a little crazy to work with. You can
ask. You are one of the most genuine, authentic people I know. I loved the tips from your book. And if any of my folks are listening, I would really love you to talk a little bit about the sales techniques that you cover in the book. Maybe pick one.
Pick one. Well, my favorite's the wood stove rule.
I love the wood stove rule.
I bet that's pretty actually appropriate in the real estate business in particular.
And the coaching business.
And the coaching business too, actually. Yes, right. It actually would be any business. In direct sales, of course, you don't have a big giant investment to open a business. You just have small, but you do have some investment of your time. And I'm often surprised when someone signs up and they say, I'm not going to buy any sales tools or samples or books or any ads, nothing until I start making money first. And I'm like, wouldn't that be awesome? That would be so great if that was possible. But that's how I came up with the wood stove rules, because at the time that I was trying to figure out how to teach that, I was living in a single wide with a wood stove, and that was our only source of heat. So that was a constant problem every day. And I don't know if you heard me say this on another show, but husband number 2, yes, I have to number them. Usually I make them wear football shirts so I can keep them straight. But anyway, husband number 2, he is aspiring to be Grizzly Adams, and mistakenly thought I wanted to be Mrs. Grizzly Adams. But I thought we were living that lifestyle because we're poor. So I was doing everything I could to solve that. But that was a goal for him.
Solve it.
Oh no, and I didn't know that.
He was living his dream.
He was. So when our furnace broke, I thought that he said it's a lot of money to fix it. We're not going to be able to fix it. Guess how much a lot of money ended up being?
How much?
I fought with that wood stove for 16 years, over $100. So, but what I was bad about is I didn't, because I didn't want to do it anyway, the wood stove. I was bad about starting it up, getting the paper, and it would only go 4 hours at a shot. So you had to do the whole thing. I smoked the house a few times, too many, because I didn't get the damper right and all that stuff. But it just reinforced to me is you got to do something to get the heat out. And when I was trying to tell the representatives on my team about, you have to buy some books to give out to show, you have to buy some samples, you have to buy an ad. When I told them about the wood stove analogy, they got it.
Yes. Right, we've got to feed the stove.
Yes.
To get the heat.
Right. If you want, now I can't even say it the way I always say it because I went through that long thing. But yeah, if you don't put the wood in, you're not getting the heat out. That's the size of it.
And right. And the it's like we've got to invest.
Yes. Even if
we have to invest.
Right. Time too. I'm surprised how many people, they think that they're going to earn money in anything, including real estate or a coffee shop or an Avon business. Any of those things take time and some money. It's it just does. To have the freedom to work for yourself, you do have to invest some.
You do. You're a small business owner.
Yeah.
Right? And when you do any kind of direct marketing or real estate sales as an independent contractor, you are a business owner. So you're wearing all the hats, right?
Yeah.
Until you have an assistant, you are the sales manager, the marketing manager, the customer service, the actual salesperson, usually the deliverer of the product or service, and you're wearing a lot of hats. And so we hire an assistant so that we can share some of those hats. And it's hard to see the big picture when you're wearing all the hats. It's one of the beauties of having a coach, is having somebody come in and just look at the blue, the whole picture, the whole picture, right? So that they can see things perhaps a little bit differently than you are. A year or so ago, I had somebody who was investing in a lead generation source. And I said, great, let's look and see and tell the truth about how much money you have actually made from the leads that have come from this source. And she was like, I know I'm making money. I got a lot of leads. I got a lot of them in process, and I've got a listing on the market from it. I'm going to make money. And a few months later, let's look, see, and tell the truth. Let's look. So we did this over a couple of years. It turned out that lead generation source giving her a lot of leads that never bought.
Oh, no.
Right. It's costing her about 40 grand a year.
Oh, that's a lot.
And so, and that figure included the time we figured she'd spent on those leads that didn't do anything because they didn't know her, like her, trust her. They were cold. Right.
That's tough.
And so she let it go. And all of a sudden, her real business, her core business
took off.
Picked up, because I'm not wasting a lot of time on something that's not profitable. So that's one of the things a coach can help you with, is what are you putting time and effort into, and is it profitable to you? Sometimes just profitable because you have a good time. Like, you're probably not making money from producing plays.
No, but the point was to meet new people. And I always
that was the point, right? So that's the thing, is the success has to do with what is important to you. If she was just having such a great time serving these leads,
but she wasn't,
right? If it was that, then, and that was one of her life's intentions, was to just have a great time serving a bunch of new people you've never met before. Terrific. Then that goal met, right? But her goal was around income. And that wasn't working. So it takes many times it takes time or an outside person to help invite people to look, see, and tell the truth. And look at what's the next small, sweet step.
I actually joined the Go Giver Success Alliance for the same reason, is because whenever my business doesn't have enough business coming in the door, new people, I do something that gets me to know a whole bunch of new people. And when I was talking to Bobby, was telling me about this, I'm like, that'll be not only a whole bunch of people I don't know, but it'll be a level up from where I am. Yeah. And it was wildly intimidating when I first got on. That's why I said the joke about the blue hair to start with. Now, I don't know how you feel about this. Of course, I look at you and it's intimidating for me because you have so much accomplishment. I mean,
are you kidding? You're like fourth in the world or something.
No, Bob says that it's the U.S.
All right, fourth in the U.S. I don't care. It's a lot. We're way up there.
I know.
We have 4, and Lisa's here. And how many are underneath?
Well, it's hundreds of thousands, but.
So who's accomplished a lot on this call? I don't know. I once got named one of the top 25 coaches in America. It doesn't beat 4.
I don't know what it is about me that I'm easily intimidated, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, now the Go Givers Alliance feels like colleagues of mine because we're almost 2 years in. I've either done business with, had them on my show, or been on their show, or sent them a card. So many people I've had personal interaction with that it feels more like my people now.
Yes.
And
I meant to bring all your cards in. I have a jillion cards from, and that's one of the things, if any of my folks are watching, Lisa Wilbur, your marketing is really one thing. Will you tell us about it?
Oh, the one thing, the send out cards.
Send out cards.
Send out cards.
He uses send out cards better than any human on the face of the planet. You got to be #1 in send out cards.
I'm not but the number one money earner in send out cards is Jordan Adler, but he exclusively does send out cards. Yeah. And I saw the other day he sent out like 130,000 cards in his span of doing send out cards. I've been in probably 3 years less than him, and I've sent out just about 80,000. So I'm pretty happy with that.
That's a lot of cards. And I will tell you, there's probably 8,000 of them have my picture on them because she sends them to me all the time.
I love doing that. And they have a app on the phone, which made it even easier to send a card. Yeah. You'll notice if I'm sending you one from the phone that I don't write much on the back. And it's usually a flat card. When I'm sending one on the computer, I'm a little bit more elaborate and usually do a twofold. But
well, you're an inspiration. And one of the reasons I'm inspired by you, Lisa, is that you have one thing. You are focusing your marketing on one direction, and it is so effective. And that's the biggest mistake I think a lot of people make, is trying to go too many different directions. And when you can find one thing and it's working for you, use that thing. Get really good at that one thing.
It wasn't always true. I do some other things, but when, as a matter of fact, classified line ads built my Avon team. There's no
back in the day.
Back in the day,
right?
As that became less effective, luckily. For the last, I think it's almost 14 years now that I've done send out cards. From the very beginning of getting into send out cards, I saved everybody's name, address, and birthday that I ran into or heard about or waited on, and now my database for that's almost 10,000 people.
It's amazing.
That has been a better source of new people, new customers, everything. My database for send out cards than ads were, because ads were like more of a shotgun approach.
Yes.
These people all have some kind of contact with me in the past.
Yep.
So either I've waited on them before, they sold for me before, whatever it is. It's just trying to keep in touch with everybody. But I send out an insane number of birthdays every month. It's between 400 and 500 birthday cards a month. That's a little insane. And it was a little insane to explain it to the IRS agent when I got audited. I'm like, I spend a lot of money on birthday cards, and he's like, say again?
Well, let me show you how that works. Can I get your name, address, and birthday?
Oh, and I did send it.
I had no doubt. I had no doubt you did.
If I get a business card or anything, even sometimes if I just get name and phone number, I can reverse look it and find
What do you use for that?
Whitepages.com.
Okay, whitepages.com. We use Spokio.
The other thing is Shuffle. I use a virtual business card. So I open the Shuffle app, hand it to the person I'm talking to, and I said, I can send you the Avon book if you just give me your name and text number, and then I go back home and try to find the rest of it.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal what you've built and what you do with a pretty simple marketing approach, but it's very, very, very effective. I can't tell you how many people have asked me about the cards because I have them displayed all over the place in my house. And I've given you a couple of referrals of other people, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wendy in Hawaii and Angie and down the street from me. And I had forgotten sort of about Avon until I met you again. I actually have some of those cars, those glass cars.
Yes. From the 70s.
From the 70s. My grandmother had that I have. And we used to use the products when I was a child, and I think I'd bought a few things as an adult, but until I met you, I really hadn't thought about Avon again. And now I'm buying a lot of Avon products. Not a lot, but I mean,
I can't wait for you to try that lipstick.
That's right. She just told me about the new lipstick before we got started here.
We were putting on lipstick before we got started.
I'm using another brand. She goes, let me tell you about the Avon lipstick.
And you know what? I'm not necessarily a big makeup person in real life. Yeah. You know what my number one selling item product on the line has been for the last 40 years? You're going to laugh. You don't want to guess?
Skin So Soft.
No.
I don't know.
Deodorant.
Deodorant, really?
The reason is because I always have focused on deodorant, because my thinking was, in the last 40 years, the economy's gone up and down all over the place like a roller coaster.
Right.
There has not yet been a time when someone has said to me, you know what, forego the deodorant. I don't have enough money to buy deodorant. That has not happened. So to me, that is an item, and along
You're
with
going to use it no matter what's happening.
right.
Yes.
Almost no matter what, you're buying your deodorant. So
yeah, and while you're buying your deodorant, you might buy something else too, right?
yes, that is usually what happens. But yeah, and
if only real estate people could sell deodorant. I'm trying to figure out how to make that work.
You know what? We were just talking with, and I don't even remember who it was. Somebody else that's in real estate though. I know. What am I thinking? Harjeet.
It was Harjeet, yeah.
Harjeet, yeah. About the fact that people, real estate agents in particular, but they do that in every industry. They're selling the benefits rather than focusing on the client. So like instead of like a realtor going into a house and telling them about what the color of the wall is or how long the roof's going to stay on, instead of saying, where do you think you'll put your couch in this room?
Correct.
Because you want the person to have ownership.
That's exactly right.
Right. And that's kind of, that's every industry, I think.
Well, if you are a real estate agent, here's my big tip for you. Call everybody every year and just say, are you still happy in the house you're in?
Oh, well, that's an easy one.
Still happy there? Because I learned early in the business, you're not looking to convince someone to buy or sell. You're looking for people who want to buy or sell and see if they'll hire you for the service, right? So if we're not exactly, if we're not checking in with everybody we know about how happy they are in the home that they own, or have they thought about investing in real estate as an investment vehicle for them to provide monthly income? If we're not asking that question, we're not allowing them the opportunity to ask us to serve them. You see, I had a life insurance person, sold me life insurance. Every year he would call and say, I just want to make sure nothing's changed in your life. You still are happy with the level of insurance. I felt taken care of. He just wanted to check and see if I was happy with the product that I had, that I've paid on every month for 30 years now, almost 30 years. Okay.
That's awesome.
So understand, it's a huge benefit just to ask people if they're happy with the way things are today. Are you happy with the number of lipstick choices you have in the morning, Donna? Right? Are you happy with the home that you're living in? If you could change one thing about it, what might it be? Are you happy with the lipsticks that you have? If you could get one additional color, a different shade, what might it be? You see?
You know what I liked your other tip too, is that you're not looking to convert people, because some of the people listening or that are going to listen in the Avon business build a team.
Yes.
And they've been taught over these years, which is not from me. They've been taught, and the corporation does this too, to stand out in the parking lot and try to convince people to sign up. And I said, you know what? If I was looking for work, I would not be out wandering around in the parking lot at the grocery store. You want to narrow it down to actually people who were looking for work to start with.
Yes, exactly. People that are looking for something to begin with. So our job is just to find those people. It's so funny how I learned that, how my boss told me. So I was learning all these great sales techniques at 24, right? And I said to her, you know, this is bothering me. I could talk someone into selling or buying a house. And she said, oh, honey, you don't have that power. You're never going to talk someone into spending that much money or selling something that they own if they don't already want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, you don't have that much power. What your job is to go find the people who do, and then tell them why you're a good person to help them solve that problem.
That sure makes it really just a lot easier.
You're not looking for everyone. You know? You're looking for the people with a desire. So you form questions to see if there's a desire. And you don't push it if there's no desire. That's not going to help you.
Well, and I've actually seen people, and this is an employee of the company, I've actually seen people pay to get a starter kit in order to get away from the woman.
Oh my
Right. That's why I don't teach
Please
that.
leave me alone, right?
Here's my 20. Please don't ever call me again. I'm going to disappear off the radar. And they were, the reason I even knew about it is because they were asking me, because the conversion rate on that, of course, people would buy the $20 kit and never be heard of again, and they couldn't understand why. I said, I can tell you why. They're out in the parking lot. Yeah, see, Penny says, I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I'm not, and that's
well, this is when you list a property and they cancel it, or you sell a property and they cancel the contract because they didn't want to begin with.
Yes.
So you're really looking for people who have a want or a need. So you have to say, are you happy in your home? If you could change one thing, what would it be? And then let's see if there is a desire. If there's not a desire, I am so glad that you're happy in your home. That's my job, is to help people be happy in their homes. So if you know anyone I could help be happier in their home.
Not to bring this back to a rule, but
yeah, tell me about another rule.
It's the success rule, if you think about it, right? You can be successful at anything if enough people know what you do. Because if enough people know what you do, you'll find the little bit ones that do want your service, that do want to sell their house. But a whole bunch of people have to know for you to find the ones that do want the lipstick.
It's one of my favorite rules.
Yeah, that is rule. And you know, I heard that somewhere, and I don't know where, but I heard it early on in my career.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did, because I was sitting there in the single wide out here in rural New Hampshire. And to me, it ended up being like a math problem. It wasn't insurmountable. To me, it's just like, you need to have a giant number of people know what you do. And I'm like, well, I can work on that every day.
Correct.
So
excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, my lighting got worse because the sun set over here.
You are a smart lady, and I love the book. As I think I said in my my review of it, I look forward to buying a case of it and doing a book review. I want to write a book review program, like a book study program. I threw that out to you guys. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't throw it out to you. I meant to throw it out to you.
We have so many ideas we want to do now around it.
Yeah, let's create a book study, right? And you can buy 10 copies of the book and the book study layout. And then you can go through the book with 10 other people. First of all, when you're reading a book with other people, you tend to read the book.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
And then when you talk about each chapter, you plus how you can use that. And I would love to do that with some of my clients. So I'm planning to do a book study, create a book study around the lady with the blue hair in 2023.
Well, let me pop in someday, because I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I love that.
That would be fun.
It would be fun. Oh, yeah. Who's coming now? Hello. Oh, it's the kid. You want to say
hello, kid? I want to say hi to the kid.
Yeah, it's Monday Morning Madness. There's
hi,
the kid.
This is the brilliant artist.
The brilliant artist.
Kid. It's not the brilliant artist.
No. He didn't want to sign all the books, though. We get. I thought, yeah, I don't know why, but growing up, that was something I always got a kick out of, thinking about autographing stuff. That made me feel like I was going to be special. He doesn't have that same.
So Mike and I were shopping this week, and there was a bookstore going out of business, and all the hardcovers were $4 and all the paperbacks were $2. And I said, we're going to buy a bunch of books. Let's go in.
Yeah.
And I saw this book by Suzanne Summers. Remember her?
Yeah.
And it said signed by author. And I thought, man, $4. I don't even care what it's about.
Wow. That's awesome.
No, it was about her marriage. She's been married 50 years.
Wow.
And so it's about secrets to a 50-year marriage, signed by the author. I went, I've only been married 30 years. I'd love to read that.
Right.
Yeah, so I picked that up. So Christmas present for myself.
Hey, did you hear John David Mann did me an awesome thing when I drove down to Connecticut to see him at a book signing, and I mean, we know each other,
Yeah.
right? And a matter of fact, I knew him from way back because I know Bob because the Go Giver back, right?
Yeah.
I was one of the pre-readers on the Go Giver,
Oh,
actually.
were
Far
you?
back, yeah. And matter of fact, my
Wow.
name's in the acknowledgement with actual famous people.
I
I
did
know.
not know you knew Bob all that time.
Yes, I knew him before that. But anyway, so then I've known John David Mann that long too.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went down to his book signing, I had someone with me too. But when he walked in, I was talking to the bookstore owner, and he looked at me and did the air gun thing. And I looked at him and did the air gun thing, and the bookstore owner goes, "Oh, you know him?" I felt like a queen. It was
He and Anna are
awesome.
great. He and Anna are great. Mike and I have had a good time spending some time with them on their new book, The Go
Yes.
Giver Marriage,
The Go Giver
right?
Marriage. And
And
it's really like the Go Giver relationship guide
yes,
because I
yes,
got a lot out of it, and I don't happen to be married.
yes, yeah.
I
It's
didn't want to say a
very good.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds bad when I say it that way, but you get the hint.
Yeah. I love the book. Another book that, we're working on perhaps some kind of coaching program around the Go Giver Marriage with them.
Oh, that's a
So
good
lots of
idea.
good fun stuff coming up in the new year,
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm afraid to plan my year next year. I had stuff planned for this year and
Hey,
decided I
just
was
the
gonna.
light at your feet,
Yeah,
Lisa. Just
what?
shine the light at your feet. What's the next
Right.
step? Okay, it's
Yeah.
okay. Hey, there may be an exit over here you think you're going for, and you end up at a different exit. That's okay, right? Take the
Well, I
next
was
small,
so
sweet step.
right. These two big projects are so, I don't know, so close to my heart now that I don't want to limit my thinking and miss something like that again
Yeah. Well, I'll
because
encourage you to
it's
still set
unbelievable.
some kind of a goal, because if
Oh
we don't have
yes,
a
oh yeah,
goal, right, we're not shooting at
oh yeah.
anything. We're just
Well, I do have some goals. Don't worry about that.
good. Excellent. What's the next small, sweet step you can take that will take you closer to that goal? Because you were looking to meet new people. It's how you ended up
Yes,
with the play. You were looking to meet new people. It's how you ended up meeting Jeff, right? So you
yes.
were fulfilling all kinds of opportunities come when we take the next small, sweet step towards our goal.
Yeah, he actually had said that to me almost 2 years ago about the hair thing. He and what's funny is my hesitation, which is ridiculous now, was that I wasn't sure I wanted to spend a lengthy amount of time with blue hair. And I know the type of person I am that I'm all in when I'm all in. And I
Yes.
knew I was going to be at least a year in blue hair if I did the book. And that's going to be true. I told my hairdresser, stock up, because when I'm all in, I'm all in. So,
Well,
but
I got this stuff that washes out. So,
well, I'm
I'm
sure he will
blue
too.
part-time.
Did you hear
Part
that when we hit 1,200 units, he's going to do his hair?
Is he gonna do that? I'll have to give him my
Yes.
my source. It really doesn't take a lot of it, and it looks pretty good. I like it. I
Well, I
have
think
really
he ought to.
dark hair. I'm 60, but I still have really dark hair. I don't dye it. But it's
Oh,
hard to
you're
cover dark
lucky.
hair. It's
Oh,
really
you're
hard to cover.
lucky.
I know I am. I do have gray. See, it's right here. I have
Yeah,
gray.
because I'm not. I'm coloring mine in
I have
real
gray.
life.
Yeah.
The other one. Yeah, now it's just blue. I was doing like a shade of brown red or whatever what I was
Yeah.
doing.
Whatever felt good that time.
Oh, anyway, so we're already at time. I can't believe this. I know. So I didn't put the scrolling bar, but how can people, what is your URL? It's
Sure. It's yourcoachingmatters.com.
yourcoachingmatters.com.
Yep,
Okay.
yourcoachingmatters.com. And there's a place to contact us on that page.
And
So
I'm going to make sure to put it down in the comments on the YouTube
sure.
video
Sure.
and
Yeah.
in Monday Morning Madness too. So
Yeah.
hopefully.
And anybody who sees us and has any question can just email me, and you can do Donna.Stott at yourcoachingmatters.com.
Oh,
So
awesome.
it's that simple.
Because it really sounds like something more people should consider doing is coaching, having
Well,
coaches, or I should say,
yeah.
having
Yeah.
coaches. Yeah.
Yeah, and look for a coach that's a good match for you, right? Get recommendations. Um, don't just look at somebody's website, right? One thing when people are thinking about coaching with me is I put them together with 2 or 3 of my clients, and say, talk to them before you sign a contract, because I want them to have an experience in hearing from somebody else about what it's meant to them before they jump in. And yeah, get recommendations from people who, whatever it is that you're looking to do, have something in that field. And I've stumbled on all these different other people who've been referred to me from people that I know, and I'm enjoying it very, very much, because the methods work no matter what you're looking to accomplish, even if it's retiring. I'm having a lot of fun helping people figure out how to retire. It's not the financial part of it, it's the other piece, right?
Oh, and yeah, don't look for me to do that, because that is not something.
Yeah.
I love working. I love working.
The only reason I go home is because my husband makes me. That's my problem. And even at home, I'll be working at home and he'll say, okay, dinner's almost ready. You have 5 minutes, you know.
That's why I'm so awesome at being single, because they usually can't take my work level.
Yeah. My husband says I would work 24/7 if it wasn't for him. And I don't think I would work 24/7, but I don't know, maybe I would. I love what I do.
I would. And love it. I would and love it. That's the problem.
And if you don't love what you do, you should talk to Lisa, because she's got a job for you. Or you should talk to me and I'll help you discover what's the next thing for you. So.
Well, thank you so much, Donna. If you'll stay right there for a minute, I'd appreciate it. Stay right there. We'll go back to the green room. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.